Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hexagon TTRPG. I'm Brent, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for today's adventure. We're diving into another epic actual play of Progenitors, Bloodlines TTRPG. So grab your dice, settle in, and let's roll. Today we're playing with my good friend.
All right.
Me? My name's Simon. I'm playing Wiln Fair. Little thing of Wiln, ever since he's woken up to a surprise, here's 500 of your people, descendants, unsure. But Wiln has visited a group of his people each night and has been slowly compiling a list of names to put to faces to really start to try and remember everybody. Because he feels like it's his duty now that he's become some sort of de facto leader.
Well, Otto is not a de facto leader. Otto is I, CJ. I'll be playing Otto, the spidery progenitor amongst us. I think this is a fun fact that's more current. Otto takes the role of leader, I don't want to say more seriously, but more kind of, he puts more weight to it, both in responsibility and also of just how it makes him feel in comparison to those beneath him. It's not exactly the most humble of fun facts, but he starts to see himself as something of a god to these people, and he accepts that position amongst them, which he's realizing everyone else doesn't necessarily agree to do.
Modestly, of course.
Yes, of course.
My goodness, what capable leaders you two are. Meanwhile, Tomas and his people are all sliding down these zip lines like Tarzan with their bare feet, and they're just using them like rails. They're like Sonic characters. They're just kind of grinding it out.
Yo,
They go hard.
Hell yeah.
That's, and I'm playing as Tomas, the tough Tomas. The two-faced Tomas.
The two-faced Tomas.
Wait a
That's a good
minute.
one.
I think other people see you guys do that and try to do it, but no one has that balance yet. So they like fall. And...
Well, I feel like even some of Tomas's people are fucking, they're wiping out trying to do it, because not all of them, like, I mean, some of them are like gifted with enhanced strength and agility and stuff, but some of them are still pretty much regular people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true for all three of your factions.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, it's me. I'm Brent, and I have a fact.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
The fact is that it's true about all three of your factions. Sorry, what were you going to say before I rudely cut you
Yeah,
off?
I was going to say that, so, like, Siege and Simon both have names for their tribes.
Yes.
We got the Ottomen, which is like the fucking greatest thing ever. The Phoenicians, it's also the greatest thing ever. What the heck? Why'd you guys get like real things that you've made not real? It's so cool.
Did you come up with one in the interim, or
I don't know what to do.
I
I was trying to find some really like really clever, like pun on some real people that existed in the world, but I couldn't really think of anything. So I'm going the classic pep route. I'm not going to explain this, but I'm going to call them for now the Decafouts, which is very different because they're not like Phoenician or like whatever at the end of that. But yeah.
Oh. Can you spell it for me so I can change it in my notes?
Wait, what did you have?
I had them as the Klansmen.
The Klansmen. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, no, I think we should change that.
Yeah.
I think we should change that.
A little bit.
All right. It's Decafowts. Decafouts.
Fowts?
Well, the S is for plural, but Decafout.
Decafout.
All right.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell this is. It says woe faced. Oh, the woe faced. Oh, the two-faced. I got it. I missed the letter. I missed the most important letter.
Yeah. Little callback to
Whereas
Keith
me and
Ellis.
CJ took actual people's names and made them our own.
It should be the decafout. We move the S to the beginning, and then it's the two-faceds. No, don't listen to me. I'm tired. I am your DM, and I'm here to DM for all of you tonight. Where's my goddamn notes again? I need my script. Make sure to say hi if you're in chat. And if you're new here, hit the follow button. Although after that introduction, I don't know if you're going to want to. You can find us at the Hexagon TTRPG everywhere that counts. But without further ado, let's get this game started. Last time on Progenitors Bloodlines, which was last Tuesday, we all met up and we started developing a little bit of a kind of like a module for a potential, TTRPG mechanics system that we have a name for. Maybe I won't reveal it on this stream, but this module has to do with civilization building and bringing into the Cypher game for our 4 progenitors who have these extraordinary powers that have been distributed among a bunch of people with this like responsibility thrust upon them by some otherworldly benefactor from a strange space satellite that appeared at the end of the world. And what's happened is, now that you've all started to take on this role as leader and take it on in different ways, world events and other things are basically starting to infringe upon the society and starting to basically affect things. Now, we did have to hash out a bunch of the mechanics together, I think, to make it more fun, to make it more fluid, and I think we came up with something pretty cool. And so we went through a few turns where, with a very unfortunate role on my part in terms of the world events, there was a toxic spore storm that raged through. You got a bunch of zombie rabbits and other, groundhogs and mice and all these like woodland. Basically, you're the gentle meadow creatures of the small island that you're on, all turned like crazy nasty. And luckily, all the bigger creatures that would be living in the forest were they were also protected by the tree. So you didn't have to fight any crazy, toxic of the cockatrices that we were, originally fighting. There was a party that went out with Wilm, who slew the mushroom spire that was anchoring the spore cloud to the island. And as the spore cloud drifted away, and Wilm's expedition, was taken back, we had Otto and Quinn. Tomas, were you there as well, going to see the GBM?
The GBM?
The Great Black Mother.
Oh,
The Brood Mother.
yeah, I think I was.
Right. I think we're going to run that scene where I think with a very good roll. What was the roll? Do you remember last time, CJ?
19.
With a 19, with a minor benefit, you smooth your way through this conversation. And so I want you to tell me, as you come in and you greet the Black Widow, and she beholds you with her multifaceted eyes, and her great hulking mass. You being a large spider when you transform, she would be the next size up. She's like humongous. That's not how it works, dude. What's the next size up after large?
Huge.
Huge. So she would be
Close.
huge.
Damn. Huge black mother.
Humongous. Don't say that.
I only want to say that now, actually.
Big, beautiful web.
Yeah, I'll start us off with she sees you enter in, and Well, well, well. He returns. Are you in your human form or your spider form?
Ooh. Oh. Can I retroactively ask you what a 19 would come from more likely?
Your human form.
Okay. Yeah. I'll humbly walk over. I think Diana QT Pie said she would be with me. I don't know if we
Yes, so Quinn
actually
is here. I think Quinn did the thing where Quinn has become a termite again
Mhm.
and escorting you. But as the widow looks at you, you knew right away from her words that she had recognized you instantly.
Okay.
And
I'll step
Tomas said that
forward.
he's also here.
Yes.
Maybe astride Quinn, riding her, the termite mount.
Good day, Great Black Mother. I come to you with a proposition. I wish not to waste your time with pleasantries.
What is it?
You and I are a kin of sorts, and amongst these other beings, we are more closely related, both in body, but I believe also in mind. And it would be unwise for us not to combine both our minds and our bodies to create something more.
I'm intrigued, but also alarmed. You wish to fuse? What is it exactly you are proposing? Some sort of union between us?
Oh,
It's kind of
thank you.
turning in there. There's something being considered.
I would not be so rash as to discuss such a thing so quickly. Perhaps a unification of sorts, or at the very least, sorry, I wish to use my words wisely. Perhaps we can work together at first on a common goal, and if we are as aligned as I believe we are, we can take the next step of that unification. Both of our people, if you do have your own people, and I'm kind of like inquisitive at that because I don't know yet.
I think roll me an intellect right now.
I know she like has some sort of sway over some lesser insects, but I don't recall. That is a 17.
On a 17, you remember coming into this room last time. And I think the thing that really stole the show was the widow. But a quick glance this time reveals that all of the eggs that you had seen are gone. And so she, this is your 19 at play, realizes that you've aptly picked up on this somehow. And the spider comes forward, slowly leaning down to look at you and bringing the eyes very close to you, one eye slightly tilted. And you see in this great black orb the reflection of your face. And Otto, you, I think, start to see movement. You see yourself changing, warping. And in front of you, and I think, Tomas, you see something horrifying. And you're going to take 1 intellect point of damage, which is as this large black globe that is looking at Otto, everything behind it starts to like warp and change, and you see like all the like legs kind of coming in on themselves and hair and flesh, until all of a sudden, Otto, a new face. You reform in that darkness into a new face, and it steps back from you, a fully formed person. A really like a black silk adorned on their body, and a sort of like I want to say it's like layers, like almost like shrouds of it. So it's just like there's so many layers hidden here. Coming off the back, there are 4 spider legs just sticking out, helping to kind of like steady themselves. And as she looks at her hands, black silk gloves over top, her face stretched, gaunt cheekbones leading into a fanged mouth, and eyes that have no pupil. They are completely dark. Stretches and comes back down onto her normal legs. We can have an alliance. I will entertain this. But we will form a deal. Service for service.
Of course.
You must bring me every year enough food to fill this cavern. And in return, my people shall provide. And you see from all around you, the darkness starts to move and swarm as all of the spiders in the cave start to kind of go around. And all of you feel like a little like humming. And it's the psychic energy of all of these creatures in here at once, kind of communicating, but on a much more primitive level. It's not words. It's just that there's like an excited buzzing, and she holds her hands out and quiets it.
I think like I drool and I don't notice at first because there's like so much going on up here, but my body is like wanting this DNA that I'm like, wow, this thing is so similar to me, but it's obviously so different. I need that in me. But then I come back to myself. And I don't make a try and hide it. I kind of just wipe away and smile. You will have enough food to feed your family and mine, and one day ours.
She looks at you, and I think you pick up that she noticed your hunger and is not deterred by it. In fact, she welcomes it. It's normal. And I think the last thing I'll give you on that 19, she reaches out a hand to clasp and kind of shake on this deal, is that her familiarity with this leads you, I think, in this moment to imagine a world where perhaps there was always this kind of tension between different factions, where feeding an ever-growing number of your offspring, of your brood, was basically impossible, and and you end up having to cannibalize and fight. Like, I think you can sense the amount of just like how in that moment it like you that she relates to you. It's palpable. I think like almost psychic in that connection. And as you clasp hands, as you form this deal, I have a question for you, which is, would you ride a spider? Like, would the Ottomans be spider riders?
I think yes. I don't want to speak for every single Ottoman, but I think generally, especially those with less of my capabilities, I don't think it would be frowned upon for them to ride the spider. But it wouldn't be like a. I think it would be a respectful riding. You know, they're not trying to show off or debase the spiders that they're riding. It's like they're allowing this to happen. We're coming together as allies. They're not using them to race each other. At least they shouldn't. Maybe some of the younger ones might. But yeah, it's like a respectful. We're helping you. You're helping us. We appreciate you doing this. Now go.
All right.
But I will not.
You will not?
No.
Okay. Then she looks over to Tomas. She gestures. Well, you seem to ride insects. Perhaps you would ride a spider.
Are all the spiders in the room with us?
Yeah.
Okay. And the weird like psychic damage that I took from the horrors in this room, was that her
The
literally
eldritch horror that is the
transforming,
spider lady. Yeah.
or was that like all of her babies like part of her that were like moving around and stuff?
That was just her. That was her flesh
Okay.
folding in on itself and transforming into what it is before you. I think it's
Yeah.
like, you know, in Ben 10, he's got that ghost form, and he opens it up and it always like causes people to fucking like basically pass out. It's like that happened.
No, I'm not aware. I don't know. I never
This
really
guy
watched
doesn't
Ben 10,
Ben? What did Shadim say?
but-
When you're
No, I
Ben,
don't-
you're Ben.
Stop. I'll do like a How to Train Your Dragon little montage moment with one of the spiders and rest my hand on its face. And I go, I can ride
You
a
do
spider."
that, and then the spider like kind of like goes to like bite your hand, I think a little bit, and you're able to just kind of like move your hand and like kind of push it away. Like these aren't that kind of animal. Like they're so much more predatory, and they're so much different from a mammal, right?
Mhm.
And you can see that she's looking at you. I think like you look over to her to like, what the hell just happened? And she is smiling cruelly with malicious intent. And she beckons, and from the back you see a bunch of spiders move out of the way. And there is I would say it's like the size of a horse.
Mhm.
And it is a black spider that has like what looks like serrated blades coming out of all of the legs, and this like black metal that's growing out of its skin. And she goes, "My heir, one day." And she looks over to Otto as she says that.
I think I'm caught off guard by that. Just nod.
And it approaches you, Tomas, regards you, and is no sudden movements, very calm, very slow, and just comes up and walks right up to you.
Oh,
And
interesting.
is just looking at you.
Okay. So it's clearly giving off like it's not just a bug. Basically, it's like
It
a
is
little
regarding
something
you with a
else.
cold intelligence.
Okay. Yeah, I'll slowly approach it too, but then I don't know. The last one kind of was just bit out at Tomas, and he was like, "Okay, well, whatever."
Yeah.
But I'm not even gonna like, even if this one's got that cold intelligence, I'm not even gonna give it the chance to sort of like lunge out or like take, the initiative. I'm gonna kind of like dip under it maybe and kind of like try and like sweep over onto its back or something.
Absolutely,
like,
you
one
do so, and
motion.
I think you feel the blades on it like tense up a little bit,
Mhm.
and as you get onto its back in a place that it's vulnerable, you notice immediately that its eyes, like some are looking at you, but some are looking at its mother, and she's holding its gaze.
Okay.
And as you get up on that back, you start to feel something in your mind, just a little touch. And you know that if you give directions to this spider, it will follow them.
Okay.
And basically, as you start to think a little bit of like moving, like it'll shuffle a little bit. And so there is like a psychic, very basic psychic connection between you and the spider, where you don't have to speak to it.
Okay. And does that trigger my like bark neck at all?
I would say that the bark neck protects you from being like taken over or controlled. Like this thing wouldn't be able to penetrate further into your mind for any
Okay.
reason.
So I just know that there's like a connection that's established. It's not trying to like penetrate into my mind. It's just like it's listening, sort of.
Yes, exactly. It's like receptive. But I think too, like you're not vulnerable to the connection from that. Like somebody else could be.
Okay.
Like I don't know that you would know that. Like you just know that you're protected in this instance. I think many instances.
Okay. Yeah. So then I'm like on top of it, and I know it's got those spiky things, so I'm like on my tippy toes, and like maybe like one hand is touching its back, so like in case they come up, I can sort of hop away. And then when I feel that connection, I just like instead of just telling it something or thinking like an action to do, it's more just like a emotional state. So like calm, relax, and then like I'll lower myself on top of its back, and then maybe it like gets closer to the ground too.
Yeah, and you can see it reacting to you, but I think in an eerily familiar way to Otto, it doesn't seem to. It's not putting out any emotions really.
Okay.
Right. It's just kind of like, okay, well, this is what I'll relax a little bit because this is what you're doing, and I'll see if that's good in this moment. Yeah, there's a lot of that humming up and down a little bit as the other spiders make way. She goes, excellent. I'm glad that you've become fast allies. But please send any of your people down here, and they may bond with the spider and go off into the world. And they're welcome to return them anytime. Taken care of, I hope.
Black Mother, there is one other thing I would ask. We have set up lines of transit for now, potentially trade, or simply moving of goods and food. I'd like to connect those to your webs for quicker travel back to your den.
Oh, I won't be staying here. I think that with an alliance with the most powerful beings on this island, I should be able to stretch my legs a little.
Very well.
I will make my home in the trees nearby. And I will talk to Valeth. It owes me. And she kind of like puts out a hand to take your hand and basically be led out of the den.
I think I don't look at Tomas. I look at Tomas squared, Tomas Jr., little Tomas, just for a quick, like, emotional check. If he's like,
no, it's pretty tame. I think he's just asleep right now.
okay.
He's having his afternoon nap.
And then I take the hand. It's like when you're in therapy and you say one little thing, and then they start
Writing in a notepad.
Like,
Yeah.
what did I say? I will lead her out.
All right, you guys make your way, and I think we'll kind of like go out a little bit. But the last thing as we start to fade away is like a cool blade pressed against the skin. Tomas, you know the name of your spider. This is Zel Karith, spelled with an X, so Shell, Excel,
okay.
Excel Karith, the web-sworn blade.
Damn. It's like a Magic the Gathering name.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it could be. Very well, could be.
Quickly closes the tab on MTG.
Oh, don't look at my screen. Alrighty. Will, I think like you're gonna get back, within a couple of days, coming back, or actually it's the whole island, so maybe a week of travel or so.
Yeah, well, I figured if it would be a turn, it would be like a quicker travel potentially, but like because it was just kind of like left as the time it takes, it'd be a bit longer.
Yeah, I think too. Like there are fungus encampments still set up in some places, so it's like you do have to fight a little bit, but taking your time, you can go without losses. Like you just can strategically approach the situations. Like there's no urgency
Okay.
necessarily, so it's not like it's like forcing your hand, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Tomas, your soul hound is a little. I think like comes out one night, just like. "Rrr."
No! I make sure to give him plenty of pets when we're back, okay?
You give him plenty of pets, and Zelkarith does not care at
Yeah,
all.
perfect.
All right. Is there anything else that we wanted to do? We've taken all the yearly actions. Now we have rideable spiders, and the dangerous spider queen starts to nest in the treetops.
So Wilm comes back and just sees now this horse-sized spider just chilling with Tomas.
Yeah, and I would say even like there's like pony-sized spiders now, like coming in between every now and then.
Then he's just gonna like ask the others what happened. Like, would anyone care to fill me in on what this is all about?
We have.
I can't quite hear you, Otto.
We've made an alliance. Sorry, with the Great Black Mother, the large spider queen that lives.
The one that wanted to eat us.
Yes.
So, just a quick thing here. The Hunson who wanted to help us and trade what goods we had for help, he was out of the question. But you go back and turn to someone who wanted to eat us and, propagate the parasite that was infecting Tomas, they're okay for an alliance.
Yes.
You have some very weird priorities.
Who's here?
Am I here? Where is here?
I
Or
wanted to speak
who's
to
here that's not
Cole.
here in this call?
My thing is I want to talk to like Quinn, Tomas,
Diana?
and Otto.
Okay, yeah. So if we're progenitors only, that's what I'd like to know.
Mm.
Okay.
I mean, if you guys brought other like your seconds, it's up to you. But like Wilm's thing was just like he would be like, "What's up with this?"
I'll plainly say this because I don't like to lie to my progenitors if I can avoid it. The salesman came to us with a proposition that was accepted outside of my control from an unknown origin. This time, I came with the proposition to something that I understand deeply. The commander of lesser spiders. I know her wants I understand the lengths that she will go to protect her own. And the closer I ally myself to her, the sooner I may take her place and be king of these spiders. That is
Alright.
the only reason.
You say so. Hope you know what you're getting yourself into. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. I believe we have the beginnings of a great friendship, but perhaps going towards an end that may not work out for one of us. This is the way of the spider.
A great foundation for an alliance.
Yes. While we are here in this moment, we should enjoy the fruits of the alliance and ride the spiders, if you wish.
Oh yes.
Who is
Somebody
that
here likes
playing?
Some of our people are very talented.
Very.
Can that be canon?
We
just go up
Can we have a little
find
jazz
the-
band?
Yo, we gotta go with the band. It has to be like one member from each tribe.
Yeah.
They all play different instruments.
Freaking like
Oh,
wind
yeah. I mean-
instrument with all the arms.
There are Fey band, like there's probably Fey musicians in this forest, right? Like the little pixies and wood people and stuff. But they have like strange, like weird music where it's just like a tree going like people, your faction goes, no, we're gonna do it a bit different here.
Amazing. Can it have like a Star Wars esque terrible name? Like what's
Jizz.
that one called? The Jizz Band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like the Spunk Band or something.
Yeah, spunk. Called it spunk.
Spunk.
For some reason, the Seinfeld theme popped into my head.
It's all in
It's
this.
funny. As a transition in the scene.
Right. Now, as we get to the end of the turn, I think that we had spoken. Basically, there's the world event, then there's all of the actions and reactions of the players in the world, and now we come to the end of the turn where there is two last things that need to happen. One is the forces of villainy will act. So this is me as the DM, basically with my plot devices that I'd like to happen in the world, and we're going to talk about stability. So in terms of the big bad, I'll use this big black dice. Oh yeah. Okay. Don't worry, guys. It's all going to work out just fine.
Another
For you.
mushroom anchor.
Great. So that happens. I think there's no visible effect in terms of what has been done. You guys are on your islands. It's not like you've explored. Like you're not out there in the world seeing what could possibly be happening. But you as players will know. In terms of stability, so I overhauled this last time. I talked a little bit about this before the stream, CJ. So there's two big things that you need to know because you weren't here. One is we talked about having stat pools for the factions. And basically your stat pool for your faction would be the number of people in your population divided by 10. So each of you have 50 points to put into might, speed, and intellect. And this represents your faction points, which are also people. And so when you use resources during your turn to build things or go defend from things, specifically with your people, you'll be adding and subtracting right points from there. In terms of tapping out or exhausting your human resources. If someone dies, it reduces your maximum by an amount.
Shit.
So that's the trade-off is that these will grow naturally over time every year. So we're in the stability phase. We'll take a look at population growth. But if people die, then it'll also decrease. So war is bad, famine is bad. potentially going off to another place, that kind of thing.
Now, did my people grow, or did my just my demand for food as a resource grow with this alliance?
Interesting. The spiders are a separate faction from your people. I would say that the demand for food is also there, but the idea is that you're going to have to spend one of your player actions, as a team, as a group, on feeding the spiders every year. And so if you fail that role, potentially you would come up short on food and maybe have to spend a second action or something.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So we'll talk about that next year turn. But for this year, I think since we're ending up, you guys didn't have a chance because of the terrible calamity that befell you as soon as you moved into the forest, to really build a home. You didn't really get to build any sort of kind of like other than I would say basic kind of camp. It's still like an encampment, probably with a little bit of necessities and resources thrown in over the course of the year. I don't think that there's really any real infrastructure that has been built up other than the zip lines that have people moving around and have moving resources around. So in terms of, I think we would have started at neutral or unstable. That being said, because you completed a major infrastructure project, which was the zip lines, we're going to be at stable. And then because you successfully resolved the world event of the toxic spore storm, we're going to go all the way up to stable. Your people have confidence in you and in this new environment that protected them and that you helped protect them. And so from there, that means that on the next turn, so for the next year, you all get +1 to 1 dice roll as a leader. So when you're taking one of your leader actions, basically on that dice roll, you can add a +1. You may add the +1 after you know the result of the roll. So basically, if you would, the DC is a 15 and you roll a 14, you can succeed.
Hell yeah.
So there's a 5% additional chance of success for all of you.
Sounds good.
Beautiful.
Awesome. That also means that everybody's population increases by 1.02, so 2%. So take your total population, multiply by 1.02. That will give you a new population. So all of your factions have some children who are born. Yep.
So whatever because some of us had lost people, right, last year.
Yeah.
So we take that number times the 1.02.
Exactly. And this is the stable rate. At the neutral rate, no children are born. Your population rate is 1. And then if you become unstable, you start to have a negative rate where basically people die off or leave.
Do we round up or down?
Good question. Since these are stat points, let's round down.
Got it. Okay.
Damn. I have 505.9. That's okay.
But then
would be nice. We're usually nice. We're nice in D&D. Fine, let's all round up. We can.
No.
You have if you have 505.1, you can round up to 506.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Stat points. If we're dividing that up by 10, it becomes 50.6. You can't give a 0.6 somewhere.
I would leave it as 0.6. If ever it would cost you 1 point, the 0.6 won't cover it. You wouldn't be able to do something. But I think at the end of the year, you do need to know what your population is.
Okay.
Tomas, the party that originally went to the tree was 4 people. So unfortunately, your faction started with 4 less people because it kicked off that quest.
Oh, because they weren't there.
Yeah, well, they died.
Wait, how did they die?
The ones who went to the tree when it was infested with the parasite hive mind.
They were the patrol that went out that you went after. He's saying.
Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. I did not
those ones.
understand what you were saying, but yes, that makes perfect sense.
Yes, and I think I will. I don't remember. You were like wondering what happened to them, and then I was like coy about it. But I did describe. I think like people like melded into the walls in that chamber. That was them.
Okay.
But I'm sure like Tomas would have like gone back and checked or like.
Well, I mean, I wanted to do something like that during the year, but then we changed up the rules, and then we ended up doing a bunch of different stuff. So maybe he hasn't had the chance.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Bailiff didn't move them.
They're one with the forest.
Alrighty. So that brings us to the end of the year. So a new year is beginning. Johnny comes up to you, Will, and he goes, "Hey, I have memories of like the new year, like it was a thing. Do we still do that?"
I believe we should. Memories are a precious thing, and we should make as many as we can.
All right. What should we do? I've been working on, and he starts to like click his fingers, and you can see like little colorful sparks. And he's like, I have some sort of like I don't know, like a flare, I guess, to my fire that I can apply. And I was thinking,
how far can you send them into the sky?
I haven't really tried too much yet, but we could maybe figure something out.
As long as we don't do it under the canopy of trees, I think we're good.
Good idea.
We should find a clearing or be outside the forest to do this.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll for Johnny to make a little fireworks display for the first New Year's?
I believe that would be intellect.
Yeah.
Got it. An 18.
Damn. And you better believe Johnny's applying effort. He's trying his hardest.
To help if I can.
Yes, absolutely. You can help him, adding a little bit like extra fire that he's able to maybe color as it goes off.
Yeah, like a bit more power kind of thing.
Yes. So it starts off a little bit small and colorful, and all of a sudden there's a big whoosh of flame, and it swirls into a rainbow. And yeah, there's a little fireworks celebration starting off your new year. Something to keep in mind as the year went along is that you didn't really experience, I would say, a full 4 seasons. There was a warm period when you all woke up. Then there was a slightly cooler period. Then it went into like a cold time of year. But this forest is enchanted, and it never truly goes into that state of decay that autumn and winter would bring. Basically, it just kind of goes a little bit dormant, a little bit slumberous and slow, kind of like a sloth, slowly moving, slowly gathering nutrients as there's less sun. And then as it goes back into spring, you can see that maybe there's more flowers around and the sap starts to flow, and it starts to head back towards summer. So there's a sort of protection from the elements here. All right, let's get rid of the spider. What would you all like to do? Maybe I should cover the gun. Oh. I have to choose a new AI video for the background. Do we prefer goose or duck or cat?
Goose? The goose is loose.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
The goose
I think that's a
loose.
duck. Not, but yeah.
Duck. Cosmic Quack Boogie.
Yo. And if I may, now's might be a good time for a little bio break.
Yep, I agree. And when we come back, we can take a look at what our progenitors will do with another year given to them. We'll be right back. Thank you. Bye.